Haven't done this for a while. There we go. Mic's back on. We're all good. Let's fucking go. All right. So, been a while since I've done a live, and I was sitting here going through sources, and I was like, I'm really looking for stuff that I can use for Sunday over here in Australia, because we all know. I don't know if anyone hasn't seen. And also, by the way, thanks everyone for being here. If anyone hasn't seen, apparently I'm gonna be on with Gnostic Informant on Sunday Australian time, Saturday night US time. But I don't really want to go too much into that. I want to really actually read the sources tonight. But just to give you a breakdown, if you don't know what's going on, I released a video exposing Gnostic Informant and all his lies and everything in it. And then Armin did a reaction to it, a bit of it. And then Gnostic watched Armin's stream, and I used Gnostic's own words against himself, because all the shit he said was just skipping through my video while claiming I was skipping through my video and not explaining Greek to people. We're just flashing it on the screen. And what did he say? Giving people fake translations of it. Okay. I'm like, okay, so by his logic, if the New Testament I brought up is a fake source, well then what the fuck? You can't use the New Testament ever again to cite a source as a source. And if the LSJ that I cited is a fake translation of said source, then Gnostic can't use the LSJ ever again, because according to him, it's a fake source when I use it, but when he uses it, it's okay. Just like I showed when he used Diogenes. I've been sitting on Diogenes and that for a while, because I was looking at the text and I'm like, where can I use this? And then perfectly, it's like the muse just sets everything up for me. Like, I've been holding on to some things and I'm like, where can I use these sources? And then the last few weeks, last week or two, everything has just kind of fallen into place for me. I'm like, okay, this is interesting how it's all kind of played out for me. So I used those sources and showed exactly what he said. And like, there's no way around it. But going forward, I want to really dig into what I was missing. I really wanted to find a couple of sources that, the main point is, I wanted to find where can we find sources that say we're using body fluids as antidote from males and females, as we saw from Armin right here. Thank you for being here, sir. Amazing. Thanks for bringing this out so I can actually do this work, because without it, we would have all been stuck in the dark. So thank you. And thank you everyone for being here. But nighttime, my bad. Going forward, I wanted to find a source that said, okay, where can we find, what did Armin say on the first Danny Jones? He said they think they're talking about that with the breast milk when they're taking it out and using it as an antidote. So I was like, where can we find this source? Because I've been sitting on Dioscorides as well. I've gone through a little bit here and there, but I haven't actually logged into it and fucking downloaded straight into Dioscorides, and looked right into the source. So we're going to take a look at that right now and see what it actually says. I'll pull up the window. So this is from De Materia Medica. When it comes up. There we go. Now, right here on Dioscorides. So do we find what we're looking for here with antidotes being used with human body fluids? And what Armin was saying with breast milk? Do we find that? What does Dioscorides say? Woman's milk is the sweetest and most nourishing. Sucked. It is good for pains and hunger in the stomach and for consumption. It is also an antidote in a drink for someone that has taken sea hair. Mixed with frankincense, what did the Magoi give to Jesus? Frankincense, okay? Mixed with frankincense that has been pounded into small pieces. Dropped into eyes. Okay, what have we been saying? We're putting it into the eyes. New Testament, putting it into the eyes. Eistus ophthalmus. And it's all here. Like, these sources aren't New Testament. This is outside of the Bible. And they're talking about using women's milk as an antidote right there. How do you see? We're living in two different realities. Gnostics live in a different reality to what we're doing. And I've dealt with a person or people like this before, where nothing, no matter what you give them, will change their mind. But I'm not looking to change Gnostics' minds. I'm not looking for doing that. I'm looking for people who are sitting on the fence and who actually want to look at evidence and go, okay, maybe this dude is actually bringing up sources and going, oh, they can look into it for themselves. That's what I want you to do. Go look into it for yourself. Go type in Dioscorides de Materia Medica, and you can go look at this for yourself. It's not just me. It's not Armin. It's not anyone here. You can. It's on the internet. Anyone can do it. Okay, so go do it. That's what I'm telling you. You can read the same things I'm reading right here. To say there are no sources, it's a really silly move from Gnostic, because that is such a blanket statement to say there are no sources about anything that Armin said about antiquity. Okay, there's number one right here. I'll get to some comments in a minute, because thank you all for being here. Fuck, I never when I was streaming before all this stuff, I never had this many people at all. But it's not about, it is about the numbers, because I want people to see the evidence. But the best thing about it now is I'm not monetized, so I'm not sitting here worrying about, I gotta get a super chat, I gotta look at this, I can just read the sources to you and tell you guys to go do it yourself. And you know what I'll do after I finish the stream, I'll see if I can grab the sources and because I think I downloaded them from, go to the Internet Archive, and then you can search for whatever you want, basically. Most of the stuff is on there. Not everything, or some things are only in Greek, or some things you can't download. So maybe just screen record them, and then you can save them. Do more streams, I love it. I've had a couple of things, I've got to do it late at night, because I've got things in the daytime that I can't do streaming. Plus I got work tomorrow and all that, so I still have a life. 69 people watching, thank you very much. Still funny. So I want to do more. Maybe in the future I'll be able to do more. I wanted to actually do a few sets of streams. So I just sit down and we just go through sources in one stream, and then another night we might go through other stuff like watching videos and other things. But hopefully down the future we can do that. But right here, I want to go into the sources that we actually do have, because they actually exist. Okay? If you're going to say there are no sources, there's nowhere for you to go now as Gnostic. There's nowhere for you to go. This exists right here. Now, what else? I'll get to one that I really wanted to find a source that was from the male side. Now, I will show you how stupid it is for him to say that and sit there with a straight face to say we don't have any sources. But going on to Porphyra, now this is still in Dioscorides, and it is burnt purpura, or dry and clean teeth. Okay, that's what you use it for. Repress excrescent flesh and draw boils and heal them. So this is what's talking about there, Porphyra. And it's the shellfish yields the Tyrian purple dye. And this is what it does. This is the exact stuff we're talking about, the purple dye. And it's in Dioscorides. And you can use it to dry and clean your teeth. And you can heal boils. All right, there you go. See, this is all medical literature. Can we say crikey? Ah, crikey, mate. You know what? Every time I hear that, though, and say it, I always think of Steve Owen. Because he was massive over here, man. Massive. All right, let's go to the next one for Dioscorides. Now, this is in Ionia, and it is a part of the purple, because it says Ionia are the middle parts of the... How do you say that one? See, I'm trying to read it in Greek, so it's like Busine, but Bukine, See, Greek has actually changed my brain, how I read English, because I'm trying to read it in with a Greek sounding, with the diphthongs and everything. So, Ionia are the middle parts of the Bukine and Purpurae, around which they turn in or wind around. Now, What were we saying? Where's the burning purple? It is burnt in the same way, but is more caustic, which means burns, able to burn, than the bouquet and the purpure, because by nature they adhere less. Okay, the flesh of this one has a good taste and is good for the stomach, but does not soften the bowels. Okay, there you go. Medical information right there for you from, what's Dioscorides? I can't even remember what year, like second? Let me have a look. I can't remember what Dioscorides. What are these dates? 40. Okay, first. There you go, first AD. Perfect. Purple snail. Yeah, it does have a purple snail in here. Now, I'm going to go through some other ones. I'm going to take this off for now. And I'm going to pull up how you can say there are no sources. I was sitting there going through Dioscorides, contemporary with Jesus, 100%, first century. I was going through Dioscorides and I was pulling it up on the Greek text. I was just going through all the references to purple and porphyra in Dioscorides, trying to find. Let me see. I'll pull it up here. The Greek text right now to show you. You can all do this. Sure, I can't. I can pick out words and that here and there because it's first century. I can pick out a few things, but I'm not gonna fucking sight translate this. There's no way. As I said, I'm not an expert. I'm up to unit 5, but honestly, I haven't been studying as much in the last few weeks because I've been punching out videos. So I'd have to go back, and I'd like to go back, start again, keep reading the translations, go 1, 2, 3, 4, and see how. Because once you stop, you fucking, oh man, it goes away. And look at this right here. I fucking love this shit. I love this shit. Let me add this to the stage. Let me see if I can. Window. No, I gotta reshare this. Sorry guys. Stop that one, and I'll add this one. There we go. Love it. Look at that fucking Greek. Look at this one. Look at this. We've got a catachresting right there. Page 313, all right? This is Pedani Dioscorides, and it's the PDF file from, what's it called? The Internet Archive. So we got a catachristesa. Catachristesa. Heridza. Of the roots. Ah, okay. And look at this one. We've got an antipharmacon. So I was just going through this source. Look, that doesn't exist, by the way. Oh yeah, you love the drum. Yeah, I was going through this source that doesn't exist, and I was trying to pull up purple, and then I think I went on to the pharmacons. Yeah, I was trying to look up where all the references are for drugs, and you can just do this. Highlight that, copy and paste it up here, and you can just find all the references to pharmaca. Alexipharmaca, pharmacou, of the drugs, or from, of or from, osu oi on. There we go. Oh, look, I haven't seen this. We got a thanasimon as an antidote. The thanasimon is as Estian antidote. Okay, wow. Look what you find. First century, thanasimon, Jesus, Josephus, Dioscorides, all first century. Fucking hell. Hey, what's up, Madalena? How you doing? The Wanasa is here, everyone. Paidioi, there we go, kids. Jesus. Yeah, fucking Jesus. That's right, that's all that one. So I was just going through this source, looking for all the purple and all the drugs. And then I said to myself, you know what? Fuck this. You know what? I'm just going to go and do a Google search. Honestly, let's just fucking do a Google search, because you know what I was looking for? I was looking for the one source that we're all trying to find that he's trying to say does not exist. Show me one source where we're extracting. Now, okay, here's where I'm going to diverge from the narrative. Prepubescent, I'm not saying. Because every time I look at Neoniskos, Yeah, sure. It says youth, young servant, and all that. But the 100% thing that we can say, it is overwhelmingly, undeniably a servant. Okay? Or what we would call a slave. There's no fucking getting around that. So I don't care what age you want to say the name Niskos was. No getting around that he was a servant or a slave. That's it. That's number one. Now, if you want to say 20, I would go, based on the stuff I've looked at in Greek that I've gone through with all people that we've been working with behind the scenes, that have been sending the lexicon and all the references on the TLG, I would say I would push 20. I'll be pushing 20. So around the same age as Peter. So we're looking for, is there any source that says that we're using male semen as an antidote? Where we go. That's what we're looking for. And I went everywhere looking for this fucking thing. And then I said, you know what? Just do a Google search and then see what happens. Honestly, let's just do that. And then you know what happened? The fucking thing came up and said, hey, look at this. It just says it straight on Google. Pliny the Elder. Okay? Pliny the fucking Elder says it on Google. And now it sent me to the low, but luckily, I'm just going to share this one. Was no. I want Pliny. Alright, give me one sec. This ancient source, there we go. Oh, actually, no, I'll just do that window. There we go. Alright. What sources? We just looked at the purple. And I'm going to bring up a lot more. Thank you. The guy who asked Peter for the temple tax only asked for Jesus' adult tax. Yeah, because they're both 20 or older. But here, I just said, fuck it. You know what? I'm going to go to Google. And I just typed in ancient sources for extracting semen as an antidote. Okay, that's the one I'm looking for. That's the one I was like, I need this source. And it goes, here you go, Pliny the Elder, natural history. So I went, okay, what does it say in Pliny the Elder? You go to the LSJ site, Perseus Tufts, and it's in Latin, of course, so fuck Latin. But it's right here. It's a scorpion antidote. And look how they translate it in English. But we have right here, now that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's a prepubescent boy. I'm saying it's at least or up to 20 based on what I've seen. Now, what does this say? The shameless and disgusting researchers, this is Pliny, that have been made will quite transcend all belief when we find authors of the very highest repute proclaiming aloud that the male seminal fluid is a sovereign remedy for the sting of the scorpion, in the case too of women afflicted with sterility. See? Okay, we're done. You can use male semen as a remedy for scorpion poison. Done. We're done. I don't care about, oh, how did it extract it? What did happen? We have a source that says we can use it for an antidote. Thank you. We're done here. Bye-bye. So when I saw that, I'm like, thank fuck for that. I have the source that says we're using, I just showed you, we've got the milk from the woman's breast, which we can use as an antidote. And we've got male semen we can use as an antidote. So we have it on both sides now, male and female. Thank you. Now, what did we have? What did Danny Jones bring up? Danny Jones brought up the best cup, which has psychotropic drugs. I've shown it so many fucking times. When I first saw this, I'm like, there's archaeology right in front of you. Just don't even need the text. There's archaeology right there. The text, well, I would say the archaeology complements the text because we have little archaeology compared to the amount of text we have. And I wouldn't have known that before Armin came out with this. But we have the sources right there. And yes, 100%. I know about this too. Because when I was in jiu-jitsu, dude, I did a bit of studying on like the ancient martial arts and stuff. And I read into this, that they were using they were scraping the sweat off the bodies when they were in the gymnasium, and they were using it in cups to drink the fucking sweat. I'm like, okay, well, and you know, if anyone's actually done any goddamn sports or anything like this, or if you've been in a sauna and your sweat is just dripping down, you can taste your sweat. And if you've been, depending on what you've been eating, or if you've been using drugs or something, it tastes different compared, as opposed to if you've not been eating something, or if you have been eating something else or drinking something, your your sweat tastes different. So yes, and if you've been on psychotropics, your body, you can drink that stuff. We got all the evidence for it. It's right there. It's everywhere. Hail Satan, baby. You're gonna puke. You're gonna puke. Yeah, well, that's it, bro. That's it. Sweat mingles with the... Yes, the sweat will mix with the Christs they are Christing with. Because I'm not going back into Christ and Christing, what all that is. But we know Christ is an application of a drug. And what does it say? Oh, sorry. What does it say in Hippolytus? Potera de Christon e poton to pharmakon. Which of the two drugs is it? Is it a Christ or a drink? So that would mean if it was a Christ, the drug was a Christ, then that means the drug is a Christ. Duh. Fuck. It's not that hard. Does it always refer to drugs? No. Does it refer to drugs a lot? Yeah, it does. Yeah, it fucking does. That is interesting. Helium. Properties of the human body are destructive to scorpion's nature. Yes, I read this in Immaculate Muse as well when you showed us. I'm like, holy shit. This shit is crazy. Off chops, as we would say. Off chops. Christing the Balanon. I was talking to a mate I work with, and I was telling him all this stuff. Like, big Christian, but he's cool. We talk about it. And he has some pushback. I'm like, that's great. But when I say, hey, look, this medical stuff is so abundant and ubiquitous back then, he's like, well, how can it be? Because we don't have it now. I'm like, yeah, we don't have it now. How fucked up is that we don't have the amount of technical use of these drugs that were ubiquitous in antiquity? It's a travesty, 100%, because you got to think what happened. If you were caught with the ancient Greek text of the Bible from, I'm gonna say, well, they translated it in the 15th, because I did the video when they're translating the King James, 15th, 16th century. But I know, and there was someone else that was talking about it on Porn Stars, you know, that show where they hock all that stuff. There was a dude who brought in a bunch of old Bibles, and the chick who was on it, that was the book lady who verified them, she even said, people, if you were caught with a Bible that had ancient Greek in it, you could be fucking executed or burned at the stake for being a heretic. What? This is the world we've been growing up in. The original Bible would get you killed. Doesn't that say that they don't want us to fucking read it? Come on. Classicists run from science. But you know what? There's no fucking excuses for a PhD. The reason why I came back to YouTube was because when I discovered I could verify everything that he was saying, I couldn't stay quiet. When I made that video, when I watched that episode on the Fake History Show, Fake History Channel, on Cleopatra's death, and that PhD, classicist PhD from Harvard University, said we don't know how she applied the poison. I went, okay, well, is that true? And then I said, okay, type it in Google. Who lived at the same time? It's just scientific investigate. Who lived at the same time as Cleopatra? Who wrote in ancient Greek? Who was a historian at the time? Well, there was Strabo, who was a geographer. And I would call him a geographer historian as well, because he's talking about events at the same time in the 1st century BC. So, and he was around the same time as Cleopatra, 69 BC, 64 BC, all the way till she died and after. And then you had, so I looked at his source, and when I found the words pharmakoi epichristoi, I was like, this bitch has no fucking idea what she's talking about. And she's a PhD from Harvard in classics. And I said, I can't stay quiet. What the fuck are we doing here? How can I do this, but a PhD from Harvard can't? What? That makes no sense. So I pulled up Strabo, which said that. And then I pulled up another source in Latin, Horace, which said it was a drink. So we got two sources, ancient sources in the 1st century, the same time she lived, that I did myself, sitting here in this fucking room. Blew my mind. So I'm like, I can't sit quiet. And then you know, I don't know if you know the rest of the story, but as the story goes, Myth Vision did a video about Christ doesn't equal drugs, and I'm like, you're a fucking liar. Look, I can do this for myself. Ridiculous. Ooh. See, I found out about Carl Rock like a long time ago. Long time ago. Way before I even heard about Amen. Because I was studying psychedelics from, I'm going to say 2013. 2013. I was studying psychedelics from 2013, the year my grandmother died. So I was looking for, I was in a state, I've spoken about this before, I was in a state where I was not supposed to be, I was not operating correctly, as you would say. So I heard about Rock, and he was talking about ancient drugs. That was more than a decade ago now. So I found out about Rock back then, and then I started studying more about drugs and looking at all this stuff, but then I didn't actually get into the ancient stuff because I didn't know it existed until Amen came out. I'm like, holy fuck, it's all verified. And so Rock told him in Boston that Harvard scholarship in classic is terrible. Why? Why are we letting classics fucking go? It's what our society is built on. That makes no sense, does it? But it does make sense. It does make sense when they don't really want us to be seeing this stuff. They don't want us to be seeing this stuff. Right there. You can use your own body fluids as an antidote to poisons. And I've showed more than once now. And just for let's have a quick look. I was fucking around with the TLG, and I was like, give me some Christing and give me some drugs, all right? So yes, I got the TLG. You can get it online now. It's a payment, $150. You can do it online, because you used to have to send the money into them, and I'm like, I can't do that. They're in America. I'm not going to send fucking. So I sent them. So I got online, and now I've got the TLG. Here we fucking go. I love it. Christon, Ude Piston, a la Pharmacon everywhere. Christing drugs. Love it. I love it. Phoenix, give this man some drugs. The holy BJ for the Scorpion King. Oh, I remember when I went and saw that. Christa Menos Toy Pharmacoi. This is what I brought up. See, these are all the screenshots I took in the in that first video I did on Myth Vision, because I put them all together. I put all the sources together, and like, look, Christa Menos Toy Pharmacoi. Christing with, because that's dative, 2 4 with inorat, so with drugs. It's right here. So yeah, I can lose a lot of time doing that. I jump on the TLG, and then like 2 hours is fucking gone like that. But okay, I wanted to get into actually something I did want to look at, because I got shown, someone sent this in the chat on the Discord. Thanks, Chewy. No, you guys fucking awesome. I wanted to go on this because someone sent this in the Discord chat, and this is all about the purple in antiquity, okay? All about the purple. Now, this is on PubMed, so this is a scientific journal, and this one is from 2017, just after This is a couple of months after I had my first psychedelic trip, on my mushroom trip, that changed everything for me, which is interesting. I just find that an interesting synchronicity. This came out in 2017. But let's go through it. Volatile bioactive compounds in opercula from Myricidae mollusks support their use in ceremonial incense and traditional medicines. And what does it say? Valuable purple dye, traded as a luxury item in the Mediterranean and late Byzantine, reserved for royalty and priests. Less well known is the use of this in sacred incense and traditional medicines, although they're still used in rare ingredients today. Discord link. I don't have a Discord link, but well, actually, I can probably. Oh yeah, there we go. I can. How do I give you a? How do I make you a fucking? Oh, I can do it on the other end. Hang on. I'll do it later. I will. Yeah, I'll pull it up later because I've got that one open there. So I wanted to pull up. This is all about the purple, and it references Exodus. So I went to the I went to the source in Exodus, and it's talking about all this stuff, how to prepare all these drugs and all these purple things, and it talks about doing a chemical analysis of smoke, and they were trying to recreate it. So they were acting as fragrance stabilizers and a medicinal odor. So we're talking about burning the purple as incense in a ritual setting in Exodus. Isn't that what we're looking for? Burning purple. And you know what? There's a side. I'll pull this up, pull this down, and I'll see if I can do a thing on the. So what happened? What happened was I saw another TV show that was on. I think it was History again, or might have been on one of the other ones. And what happened was they were talking about the fall of Constantinople. Yes, it was the fall of Constantinople. And there was, I'll give you, where's the wrench? Oh, there we go. There you go. Chewy's a mod. So you can post links now. I was watching a TV show and it was on the fall of Constantinople. And what happened was there was a Scottish dude, they said. There was a Scottish guy that the Christians paid for. So he enlisted in his services and paid him to defend the city. And what he was doing was using what they called Greek fire. And what did that fire do? This is in a TV show completely separate of Armin, okay? He made this mix of some chemicals, put it in a bucket, lit it on fire, and threw it down all the holes that they made when they were tunneling underneath the city. And what did this fire do? This fire burned. And you know what? We saw with Armin, with the ancient sources, if you throw water on this fire, it doesn't go out. It actually burns more. And this is what the exact same thing they were talking about. A Scottish dude in Constantinople making Greek fire that didn't go out. And if you poured water on it, it would get worse for the people who were trying to put it out. Or the Ottoman, who was it? Mehmet. It was King Mehmet trying to take over when he took over Constantinople. So the sources are all there, even in a TV show. So I'll put this back up because I want to. There was a few things in here that I wanted to go over. I might just pull it up on the other one because I've got some screenshots of the specific things I want to go over. Purple dye, purple. All right, let's just go through. Oh, you know what I'll do? I'll go like this. There we go. So they were burning it. So we're burning the purple, burning purple, Said to produce a strong odor, the scent of which is described as being similar to that of castoreum, the musk derived from the scent gland of mature bees. Wow. Producing lethargy. Now, the Arabic term can be translated as sweet hoof and is used to describe the operculum of this one, Murex, from Bahrain, which were reported to be the best for fumigation. Now, there is historical evidence for the use of opercula across a number of diverse cultural groups and separated. So a lot of people were using this. A lot of different people over different time periods and different places in history were actually using this purple and this Murex, because it says it was all the way from India, which makes sense. Like, if Alexander went from Macedonia all the way to India, it makes sense that there's a trade with all this stuff all over that place. And they also said there's some in Africa as well. I mean, it makes sense. He was in Africa too. Often beaver team. Yeah, so yeah, manufacturers in Indian industries still, like, today. So they're still manufacturing it today in India. And who uses it? In Sudan, traditional Sudanese perfumery. Smoke baths. See? Smoke baths for brides and married women. We're talking about, what were we talking about in ancient, in Scythia? What were they doing? Cannabis thani in ancient Greek. Cannabis fumigations. They have a fucking, ancient Greek has a word for fumigations of cannabis. Cannabis thani. What are we doing? Like, the amount of technicality in this language is beyond. Now, this is what I wanted to go into, because this is the bit. The ancient Murid dye industry was distributed worldwide, but particularly extensive archaeological evidence stems from the Bronze Age or earlier, which is what we're talking about really, Bronze Age, up to 13th AD in the Mediterranean. So in the city of Tyre, which Lebanon today, ancient dye vats and mounds of broken shells provide evidence for a large-scale Muricid dye industry. So this is a large scale, man. Large scale production and industry of this in ancient, I'm going to say in ancient times. In ancient, all over the place, honestly. Mediterranean, Bronze Age, up to the 13th century. That's crazy. That this was such an important trade. And you got to think, it can't just be about the color, honestly. It's like some people, like, now is a reflection on them, because you've got people who are so fucking rich today that they just pay the most ridiculous amounts of money for the most ridiculous shit that no one's ever going to want or need. It's kind of similar to this. The richest people in the ancient civilizations would pay for purple to put it on their walls and make their things look, so they had status. So I got purple, I got status now. But it was also being used in religious rituals. So this it's beyond, I don't understand why it was so important. And then when you look at it, you go, okay, they were using it in their rituals, so it must have had some effect. And as we saw, it has healing properties. Like right there, it has healing properties, just and in different forms of usage. In this purple, in this porphyra. The use of it in the Mediterranean region possibly evolved as a byproduct generated from the purple dye industry, but then became valuable in its own right. The excavation of Murex from the cargo of the Bronze Age shipwreck, dated around 1300 BC, oh wow, provides evidence that Muricidae opercula were traded during antiquity. We know they were. Thousands of opercula were found within amphorae between copper ingots recovered in the shipwreck, and their value has been attributed to their use as ingredients in perfume and sacred incense. That's what we look at, sacred incense. And that was referring to, there we go. It was referring to Exodus. Says it appears to have been traded across the Mediterranean Sea during Greco-Roman period, along with other valuable incense ingredients, including frankincense, okay? Gold, frankincense, and myrrh. Jesus was given money, drugs, and drugs. You're telling me... See, it's the way they told us this story when we were kids. Oh, gold, frankincense, and myrrh, blah, 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 blah. No, it's money, drugs, and drugs. For fuck's sake. It's a Mycenaean industry. The word itself is Greek, purple. Mycenaeans. Oh, that linear B. That linear B up here, bro. I've got some other videos in the works as well that I'm looking at with Bettany Hughes, because she did some videos like a long time ago on Mycenaeans, and another one on, I don't want to say too much, but they were doing rituals in caves. Okay? There's a lot of stuff on that too. So I'm going to do a video on that because that's more evidence that it's coming. They're trading drugs and medicine and technology and rituals, and they're doing it in caves. And this is what the texts say. They're doing it in caves. Okay, there we go. There was one, I wanted to get the, where did they have? Oh yeah, it was up here. Where they were talking about Exodus. Now, I want to go. Okay, these findings, fuck you. These findings support the Muricidea as an historically important marine resource providing biblical dyes, medicines, and perfume, okay? Contains biologically active compounds and produces smoke containing volatile scent compounds. What have we been talking about? Fumigations with these drugs, with the purple. And this is a medical fucking journal that is citing Galen, Dioscorides, and other sources that don't fucking exist. Consistent with their identification as the most likely source of onica, a controversial ingredient in sacred incense, in Exodus 30:34. Now, I did have that right here, but I think, yes, oh, beautiful. I've got the Septuagint up right here on my other screen, so I'll just move that. And it should be 34 right there. All right, I'm just going to change. Oh, no, I can just bring that down here. Oh, no, I can't. All right, I'll change the screens and then I'll show you. We're going to go through Exodus. We're talking about this. Stop that one. Share. There we go. Septuagint. 30:34. That's what it was. That's the sacred incense was Exodus 30:34 right here. Now, I know there's some people in the chat who can translate this better than I can. So if there's anything fucked up in this translation on the English, it would be awesome if you could help a brother out. But I love reading Greek, so let's just have a look. So let's see what it says in English first, and I'll give you the Greek. So it says, and the Lord said to Moses, take for thyself sweet herbs, which we've seen before in my other video on calamus and cannabis, stacte, onica, sweet galbanum, and transparent frankincense. There shall be an equal weight of each. And thou shalt make with it perfumed incense tempered with the art of a perfumer, a pure holy work. Okay, and you're going to use it in the tabernacle and all that. Kai epe curios pros mou. See, mousein. Oh, fuck this. Mou. See, you kind of hear a digamma in there as well. Mou. Labe se autoi hedusmata. Staken. Honuka. There it is. Honuka. That's what we're talking about. Oni. Kalbanane. Edusmo. Kai Libanon. Diafane. Hison. Hisoi. Esta. Estai. My bad. And then we're going to create it and make a Tumiyama. Murepsikon. Oh. Ergon, a work. Okay. See, these kind of things. Perfume. I'm trying to work out the words there. See, I'm just showing you what I do when I read it. And obviously, I can be 100% better because I haven't been doing it for a few weeks. But so when you read it, technically, you don't just read straight. Like sometimes words and sentences can go straight left or right, but you can read back to front sometimes, and it's like, what? Fucking crazy. And then also what you want to do is pick out the verbs, and then you can work out what's happening around the sentence on the verb. And like I didn't work all this out until like much better in unit 4. I was starting to grasp this. Bro, this chat can't even read English. Okay, well, I know poiesusin, and so that's omen eti usi. So that is a third person plural. So it means we are creating en autoi Sumiyama. Okay, so that is number 35. And they shall make. So I said they will create. So I kind of was right. Yeah, there we go. Kind of right. You make it make sense. I try. So that's what it's talking about. Getting back to it, that's what it's talking about with using the purple in. So this PubMed study, scientific study, is citing this right here, because I'm going to the original. This right here. Hey, what's up, Dan? Imhotep. So that study is citing this right here as the Onuka, as using the purple in fumigations in Exodus. All right, burning the purple. Fuck, man, this language is it's amazing. So yes, they were doing fumigations with the purple. I'm gonna pull up the rest of some more of that paper, because there was more in there that I wanted to go through. But let's see which way I'm gonna do it. I did it with screenshots. Okay, let me do this. I'll do it this way. Okay, share this one. Kataron. Describing the word. That is the medical word for purifying. Ah, there we go. Kataron. Thank you. All right, so this is a 2010 study. So this is another study that was talking about it. And it's talking about marine organisms. Currently investigated for the therapeutic potential of their natural products with very promising results. They're talking about that now. Now, I just want to go to look at this methods. The classical Greek texts of the ancient, classical Hellenistic, and Roman and early Byzantine period were studied, and the data collected were analyzed in order to extract detailed information on the parts of animal bodies and the way they were used for healing purposes. And here's the results. 38 marine invertebrates were recorded for their therapeutic properties and uses in 40 works and 20 classical authors, covering a time period of 11 centuries, from the 5th BC to the 7th AD. They were classified into 7 and 11 classes of the animal kingdom, and mollusks were the dominant group. So we're talking about 40 works of 20 classical authors, right? Sources that they're citing in a scientific paper. Now, what was the conclusion? The marine invertebrates were well known for their therapeutic properties and had a prominent role in the medical practice during the ancient Greek and early Byzantine period. The diversity of animal species and their medicinal uses reflect the maritime nature of the Greek civilization, which flourished on the coasts and the islands of the Aegean. Most of them were common species exploited by humans for food or other everyday uses. There we go. And look what here, right here. This is what we're talking about. This is what, okay, suppositories. We know about the drinks, but what I want to talk about with the suppositories is Mark 16:5. All right? You pull up Mark 16:5. I'm not doing it. You guys pull it up. I've showed it so many times. You pull up Mark 16:5, and what does it say? There's a Neoniskon, which is a youth servant, in the tomb, which Bart Ehrman fucking said in Mark specifically, there's no one in the tomb and the tomb's empty. There's a Bible scholar saying the tomb is empty. When I pulled it up, Mark 16:5, what does it say? There's a Neoniskos in the tomb, dressed in a white robe, a Stolane Laocaine. And what were they? They were Ektham Baselai. They were amazed. And how do you... Okay, Jesus is dead in the death state, in the tomb, after he's taken off the cross. What is the Neoniskos doing in the tomb with Jesus? And how is he bringing him back to life? How is he resurrecting him? How else are you going to resurrect Jesus other than giving us him an antidote with a suppository? That's my understanding of it. If Armin wants to say, if anyone else wants to say, Armin or anyone else wants to say, hey, that probably would have been something other way, please let me know. But that's how I'm seeing it. There's no other way. Unless, because he wouldn't have ingested it. He's already in a death state. How's he going to drink that? There's no way. Like, I don't think that would have happened. I reckon it would have been a suppository that the Neoniskos would have given him in the tomb to bring Jesus back. That's just based on what the text says and the science we're looking at right now. Okay? If anyone else wants to say, maybe it was this, maybe it was that, cool, I'll take a look. But that's what I'm thinking of. Ice scrolls. Dude, do you know the amount of times I looked at ice scroll or ice taste, ice gear in the text? Like, oh, I was talking to Ion, who's in the chat, and he was showing me. He's like, look at all these other forms of ice cross in Epiphanius. I'm like, he's not just talking about one sect. He's talking about so many. Yeah, exactly. Atropine, okay. Yeah, that's now. John 3:16. See, everyone quotes John 3:16. I haven't had a look too much of that, but I can take a look at that. This is what we need to. This is what we needed to get fucking locked in first, and I'm doing it right now for everyone. These are all the sources on purple, burning the purple, Christing people, bringing Jesus back with a suppository, which I think is what's happening in Mark 16:5, and even the biblical definition in BDAG says. The Neoniskos in Mark 14:51 is the same Neoniskos that's in Mark 16:5. That's what the biblical people say. I had a suspicion it was that until I read BDAG and they said it was that. That's interesting. Let's go to the next one. So this is talking about ancient Greece. I think. Oh yeah, cool. Yeah. So they used oil-based medicines with this purple dye and natural products. Extraction of the metabolites using oil-based solvation was a common practice. So they're using oil bases to extract this drug. And it was a common practice in the 1st century AD. That's exactly what we're talking about. 1st century AD. Jesus. Now, this oil medicine was reported as being sold in medieval Jewish pharmacies from 11th to 14th century AD. Predominantly for gynecological disorders. Now, I'm going to say something that I'm not saying this is why it is, but if you read the Talmud, which I've shown on this thing before, there's the reason why they were having gynecological disorders. Okay? I'm not going to say anything more than that. You read the Talmud and tell me why they're having gynecological disorders, all right? Fuck. Now, that was for those disorders, depression, and a range of inflammatory diseases. In some Middle Eastern countries, it was ground into a powder and then heated in a pan with oil or ghee. What is that? I've never heard that before. Only ghee I know is the jujitsu ghee. To avoid overheating and burning the opicula by direct contact. Okay, so it's something that stops it from overheating, okay, and burning too much. Both the oil and the heated opicula was used as incense ingredients. In ancient Greece, the crushed opicula mixed with oil and vinegar. Vinegar is like wine as well. Don't forget, that's what they gave to Jesus on the cross. They did give it to him and they didn't give it to him. Depends on what gospel you read. It was used to treat cases of swollen spleen, menstrual cycle abnormalities. See, women's medicine. What did Mama say? This is all coming from women's medicine. Oh yeah, we went over that bit. I wanted to show that. Worldwide, 13th century, done that. Okay, this one. Oh yeah, I showed you that already. That's the other one. Dice. Okay, so this is what it's saying in the table on this paper. They were using ancient Greek sources from Dioscorides and Galen. Now, if you want to go look at Galen, good fucking luck. There's 22 volumes, like 600, 700, 800 pages each, and it's all in Greek and Latin. Man, I have a hard time reading it. It's literally the densest medical material you can read. It's just scorpions, drugs here, Egyptian poisons here, using this for this, Christing this, Christing shit. I'm like, oh my God. It's just straight up plain medical text telling you what's going on. That's what Galen does, and that's who they're citing. And Dioscorides, who we brought up before, and I showed you. So the species is this one, and the preparation, they're crushing it and mixing it with oil and vinegar. And what does it treat? Hearing loss, swollen spleen, depression. They were curing depression back in the fucking 1st, 2nd century. Good God. Abnormalities in menstrual cycle and after labor. Oh, wow. And and Ahmed said, look at the sources for Mary. She had the purple, well, her midwife had purple fingers when she was having the kid, having Jesus. So they were using, this just proves that they were using it for women's medicine, like Ahmed said, right? Yes, and I downloaded, that's fucking amazing. I'd love to see the actual book in my hand one day. That'd be, to be able to hold that, unreal. But I think I downloaded 20. I couldn't find 21 and 22, volume 21 and 22 online. I could find up to volume from 1 up to volume 20. And I put them all in a Discord chat as well. So you can go onto Internet Archive and you got to go, it's a hard search because they bring up a lot of them, but then you've got to go specific 1, 2, 3 up to 20 to find these. You can't just pick it up and go, here's all 20, all 22. It's not easy to find. It's not as easy to find as it should be. That's what I'm saying, on the Internet Archive. So they also showed on this paper that it's used in medieval Eastern Mediterranean, so Byzantine, and they were using it for more drugs to treat all these diseases as a purgative. That's what Armin's been saying. It's a purgative. And like, look at my video where I showed with the Joe Rogan, Graham Hancock, and Brian Murarescu, who cited in his book Dioscorides, who Armin gave him the text to cite. Graham Hancock's talking about ancient shamans in North America drinking their urine after they've had Amanita muscaria, that mushroom. And he says after you've had Amanita and you urinate and you drink the urine, it's way more of a potent drug trip than just eating the mushroom. So I'm like, hello, Galen's talking about what? Drinking urine, and it's super potent. So I've linked all this already. All of this is in my videos. Like, this is not hard to see. Just go watch my videos. I'm gonna say I've done it perfectly, but I've done a decent job of putting all the sources together so you can watch it all for yourself. So to say there are no sources in the blanket statement is just, it's just stupid. There we go, Bahrain. What are they using it for? Fumigations. Slowly burning on charcoal. Okay. Fumigations as well. Wound healing. Oh yeah, I just took a screenshot. That's the Exodus passage. Oh yeah, what were you talking about? The Katha... What was that word? I can't find it. Anyway, they were creating all these drugs for incense. 34, yep, purple dye. Purple for fumigations, we just looked at that. Treating and burning. Okay, I think, I don't know if I brought this one up. Oh yeah, no, I didn't bring this bit up. Okay, so it's talking about the compounds and chemicals in it, which may explain the use of the smoke for gynecological treatments in Sudan and ancient Greece. For example, yes, smoke bath with incense after marriage, and then in Sanskrit, okay, interesting. Sanskrit, the incense made from this was described as having charming or prostitute-like properties. The oracles, what they call them later? Prostitutes. It's because it was putting you at, oh my God. You just look at all the fucking sources. Look at the Dodecaton Apostolon. The apostles themselves wrote this book. Stop doing this shit. It's going to make you too sexual. Charms, see? It's talking about charms in the lexicon. That's what it's saying. Charming and making you sexual. Epithumia. It's all there. It's all there. Traditional methods of pre-treating it prior to burning, literally says we're burning it right here. We're burning purple. Were found to influence the composition of volatile compounds in the resulting smoke. Okay, so they're mixing it with other stuff so you can influence the composition of it, of the volatile compounds, so it's not as harmful, I guess. In particular, pyridine was only detected in the smoke of untreated opicula, where it was a dominant compound, 30%, greater than 30%. It is toxic. Thought to affect the mammalian male reproductive system. Satyrion. Remember? Oh, we've been talking about Satyrion. Which may also explain the more frequent traditional uses of the smoke and medicine specifically by women. This kind of sounds like we're doing Scythian stuff now, doesn't it? Where the women are shooting the men with arrows and, you know, getting them hard so they can mate with them forcibly and then execute them after they've had a kid. Well, after they've, you know, done what they need to do. Okay, mice studies. This is interesting. This is where we all base our stuff off mice studies. Oh, I'll go back. Male mice exposed to drinking water contained with minimum doses of 100 ppm showed reduced sperm motility and testicular weight. Interesting. So reduced motility. So this is going the other way. Conversely, pyridine was found to increase the estrous cycle length at the highest dose in female mice. The potential to increase or enhance the period in which females are in estrus. And what do we talk? What did Armin say? It's about dialing up and dialing down your flow. He said that on Danny Jones. This is the fucking scientific paper saying the goddamn same thing. Like, you can't even deal with this ridiculousness coming from this guy. It's just so stupid. You are willing, that's why I said you're willfully blinding yourself when everything's right in front of you. So the potential to increase or enhance the period may be one reason why the smoke bars are promoted for use only by married women in the Sudanese culture. That's interesting. But we're talking about smoke bars in the Scythian culture too. Pyridine, however, has also been found to have toxic effects on the liver. Washing it with vinegar or alcohol prior to burning can effectively remove this toxic compound. Now you know why they were using vinegar with every goddamn thing and like wine. Ugh. Suggesting that traditional methods of preparation may be essential for reducing harmful effects. That's what okay, yeah, there we go. And reducing the smell. Okay, reducing the harmful effects. Like, this is it right here, man. This is it. We're done. We're done with it. We're done with this shit. Thank you. Like, a scientific paper is literally saying everything that Armin's been saying. Where's the mic? Just drop the fucking mic right now, honestly. All right, that's we can go for some other stuff too, but that's basically the fucking rundown of all the science and evidence you need for the purple, the use of it in antiquity in Greece, ancient Greece, the 1st century AD, which is the same time as Jesus was around. So we're using it in a cult ritual as well. Purple is a woman's medical discovery. It's amazing history. Thank you. Well, thank you for opening it up to all of us. Gang shit. Fuck yeah. Can't get more obvious, I know. Yeah. I want to go to some comments because fuck, man, that was insane. Like when I found... Thank you to the guys for posting that in the Discord because I was like, I just need this to be knocked out of it so I don't have any doubt going into my mind on Sunday, sitting there watching that video. I'm gonna tell you, I was sitting there watching it with my mom, and she was like, "Stop! He's already dead." While we were halfway through it, and I'm like, "Yeah, well, he deserves it. He deserves it." You know what? It's strange. Like when I was doing like all this stuff before on YouTube, I was kind of like, oh yeah, huh. It was about movies and all this stuff, and I love that stuff because I grew up with movies and watching movies and TV shows with my grandmother, and like that's what we did. And just, but this stuff just like flows through me. I don't even I can't. It is turning on. It's kind of turning on Nemesis. I that's what I say it is. I channel Nemesis while I'm doing it, because what is Nemesis? And you look at the definition by the lexicon, and it's like the distribution of what is due. Okay, and this is what is due. Showing the evidence to all these people who want to fucking lie to us when it's all right in front of us. So doing it now, doing it before, I was like, oh my God, look at the numbers. I've got this many people watch. I can't, I'd freak out and I wouldn't be able to do it. But I'm just going with the sources because that's what I've been doing for years now, reading this stuff and watching this stuff and going, okay, well, if I can do it and watch it and read everything that's happening here, separate from every stream of almonds, because I've watched a lot, but I haven't watched as many as I'd want to catch, like entirely lately, because I've been doing my own stuff and putting out my own videos and doing all this research with us and all the other guys doing all this research. But I still love watching it here and there. Like it's fun. And then when you bring up the ancient Greek and you're like, oh, every time he brings up a source, I'm like, fuck, I wish I saw that one. Now I know about that one. Now I can go do more research on that. That's more what Armand does. Like, I know you want to say, oh, the theatrics and all this bullshit. I don't give a fuck. What he does is bring, okay, here's this source of evidence. Now you go look at it yourself. And I'm like, okay, that's exactly what I did. So, and that's what I'm doing. And when when I saw the reference to Exodus in that scientific journal, I'm like, thank you. Give me the fucking Septuagint to reference in Greek. I'll pull it up. I love this shit. And then the one big thing was like when I was sitting there for so long looking at all these sources going, how can I nail this fucking down? How can I nail this down? Where do we get men using their own fluids for an antidote? And you know how fucking stupid this shit is that this guy is doing, Gnostic? You know how stupid it is? After all the research I did, type in Google ancient sources for extracting men's semen for antidotes. That's what I did. And you know what? 2 seconds later, I found it. That's how fucking easy this shit is. Go to Google and type it in. That's what I don't understand. What is like? This is deliberately being ridiculous now. When it's that easy to do, type it in Google and it gives you plenty. Go to the source, which I showed you, and what does it say? What does it say? They're using men for antidotes to scorpion poison. And then thank you to everyone pulling up Dioscorides and showing me that passage with the female breast milk. I'm like, okay, they're using this for antidotes as well. What? So it's all right there. So going into Sunday, however many people come on and watch on Sunday, you know where I'm coming from. We're going to sit there and watch my video. All his sources. He's going to start yelling and doing all this stuff and saying everything's a lie and all this. I'm like, okay, I'm not here to convince him anything. Okay, he's never going to, I know this, but he's never going to see it. He doesn't want to see it. I know that. That's where he's at. He's doing his own thing. He doesn't want to see all this stuff. This is for the people who may follow him or are not sure about the sources. And then when I show them what he's done, how he's lied, show them the sources that I'm showing them, and they can look at it for themselves, because in my description, you can literally click on all the sources. So when people see, oh, actually, this guy is posting the sources and links, I can do it myself. That's what I'm trying to tell all you people. How many? Nearly 150 fucking people. Thank you all so much. Go and do all this yourself. You can check my latest video, the one that has Gnostic. Go in the description. I have posted all the links to all the Bible verses and all the other sources I quoted in that video, like Cleopatra's death in Strabo. All these sources. Go look at it for yourself. Go look at it for yourself. I never looked at it like that. Never thought it like that. That's fucking crazy. That's fucking crazy. Yes, Cleo. Cleo as well. Thank you. The music history. Hmm. Hmm. Just like Jesus. Where's that fucking kid? Oh fuck. I'll go with some comments. Thank you. You're new here? Thank you so much. Not a scholar like many. Oh, I'm not. I'm just. I'm only unit up to unit 5 in the textbook. All right. I'm an internet. I'm a researcher. I'm a journalist by trade, by study, and I'm a researcher. Absolutely fascinated by the subject matter, and this information is invaluable. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for being here. And and thank you, muses. There's more than one, I guess, working through me because history, nemesis, mm, mm. And like it's also when I turn on for videos, it's like, all right, just go. Before I was never like that. Ronan, bro, we both. Well, I wouldn't say I'm Ronan. I mean, I'd say you're kind of the master. You're the black belt. I'm the white belt. You're the black belt. Be born again. Needs a whip. You know what? I actually had a whip from when I was a kid because my grandmother made me a whip for like Indiana Jones, and it was so cool. I used to have one when I was a kid. Hail to the LH Museum. Thank you. Yeah. I used to have the green screen and all that, and I'm like, ah, fuck it. I don't give a shit. It's not about me or my background or whatever. It's about the sources. It's not about the money either. Because like I've got 142 people. I could be making money off these super chats and going, oh, thanks for the money. This, send me this. But it just fuck. What's the point? Why? Because I'm doing something that you can do as well. Why would I make money off something that I can do that you can do as well? And I'm showing you how to do. Like what? There you go. I'm telling you guys, go do it. Yeah, Cleopatra's Macedonian. Exactly. Yes, apparently Saturday night US time, Sunday Arvo over here, I guess it is. If it happens because it was like 2:40 in the morning last night, and I was talking back and forth with Gnostic, and he was just lying and lying and lying. I'm like, okay, whatever. And he's like, so you won't come on? I'm like, I said yes. When are we gonna do it? And he goes, oh, how about Saturday? I'm like, all right, sure. And then not even 3 hours later, he responded to something else, saying I wasn't coming on. I didn't want to go on. I'm like, we just agreed that I was gonna fucking go on. What's wrong with you? See the ridiculous stuff like this. Let me kick all this. Let me see if there's anything left in that paper because I don't know. I think I covered everything, but I'll just show you what happened just to end this. All right, I'll get away from that. Get away from that. Close that. I got too much open. All right, I'll bring you up on X. Here we go. Shut. Nah. That's my banner. That's my banner on fucking X. Alright, so what happened was this yeah, he wants to say 2,000 years is a primary source. What a fucking idiot. 2,000 years later is a primary source. Here we go. So we said, alright, let's get it done. And I said that at like nearly 2, 3 a.m. 3 a.m. And then a couple hours later, nearly 3, he just says this. You can't jump on a stream because you're taking clips out of context. I'm like, bro, we just said yes to coming on the stream, and then a couple hours later he's saying you don't want to come on. I'm like, oh my god, is it even worth it? I'm like, yes, it is, because it's not about him. It's not about showing. It's about, we're gonna sit there and watch my hour and 20-minute video of him lying to his whole audience, so they can see what's going on. That's it. Yep. There you go. I don't want to go too much into it because it's like, it's just too much. It's just fucking annoying. It's like, all right, we've all seen, if you've all seen the video, it's like, there you go. All the evidence is right there. This wasn't about going through that tonight. It was about going through the sources that we all have, that we can all see, that I've just shown you. But that's just showing you a little bit of who he is. I said we can do it, and then he says, oh, you don't want to come on. It's like, bro, we can all see what you just said. What's the point in lying? Weird. But we'll see what happens Sunday. if he plays. Yeah, if he plays. Hey, he agreed that we were going to sit down and watch it before we go through anything. So we'll see what happens. Apparently. Oh yeah, I'm already ready for that. I know what's gonna happen, but that's all right. Oh, thank you. Invited to come to Dallas. That's what I was wanting. I was hoping to come and see you guys in Dallas. I wasn't planning to go on and do a panel. I wasn't planning to do this, but if you're inviting me, that's amazing. Thank you, firstly, and then I'll have to see. Honestly, if I can get in, because they do ask for your social media and stuff before you get in. So I'll see. I'll see. You gonna go exercise? Fucking yeah, get that exercise in, man. Good job. Look out for your live shows. Please keep it. Oh, definitely, man. Definitely. Go enjoy. Because what is ancient Greek about? It's not just about reading it. It's about all three things, yeah? You gotta work out, you gotta read. And what was the other one? Fucking, I did Armin. I forgot. Be there possibly. Oh, sweet. Man, that'd be awesome. See the Mad Chew in person. All you guys. Delete that fat picture on your phone on JD Vance. I don't know JD Vance. I don't give a fuck, dude. Yeah, I was there 2022. So I was there in Biden's America. What a fun time that was. I need all these sources available on the website. Oh, I'm gonna post all of these sources and stuff in the description on this stream. So after it, I'll go through all these and I'll post all the links in this. And I'll try and find. Yeah, I'll go. Diascorides is on Internet Archive, so you can go check that. I'll see if I can pull that up again, because I've just downloaded the version of it. So I'll see if I can go pull up all the old the old internet history of it, and then just post them all these links, and I'll put them all in the description so you can go do all this yourself. This is what I'm here for, showing you that you can do it yourself, and we don't need PhD classicists that don't read their own sources. So yeah, Dallas, I'm gonna see, because January, that's plenty of time for me to, yeah, plenty of time to see if I can work it out and they let me in the country. But I like it's only a few days, so I'm trying to work out what am I gonna do as well, because I don't want to just come to Dallas for 3 days. It's like a 14, 15 hour flight, so I don't know. I got to work out some other places I want to go see as well. If I'm gonna make this massive, it's a big trip, honestly. Yeah, I was in Florida. Last time I went to Vegas. Last time I went to Vegas, Orlando, and then Hawaii on the way home. But I did stop over in Dallas on the way to Hawaii, but that was just in the airport, so I haven't seen Dallas for itself. Email, sure. Yeah, and let's talk plan. Yes, 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 yes. My email. Okay, if you go on my YouTube homepage, you go onto the info, and my email is there. But let me actually, I'll pull it up here for you now. Where's my? Go to my channel. I'll bring it up for you now. So you go links, view email. All right, I'll put it in here now for you. So just give me some info on that one. Hope you can make it, Dallas. I'm gonna do everything I can to. We should stream it. Oh yes. People love your directness. Yeah, thank you. Mum was watching my video. She's like, "You're so dry." I'm like, "Hey, it's just the text. It's just reality, man." Thank you. You're the beginning of the inspiration. Thank you bringing this to us, so I can do what I'm doing. So I want you guys to all take this and then start doing it yourselves. If this means anything to you, like you're all here watching this, so I think it does. So if this means anything to you, if you can't like make videos or do this, just start looking at sources, start looking at this stuff, start going, okay, how can I start researching this more, or looking into this, and then start sharing it out more with people, or start talking to people about it that they don't want to. And then if they don't really want to talk about it, just okay, they're not open to it. Like, don't gadfly them like I do with people because they fucking hate me. I always bring up Mark 14 to start off, and then a lot of people have been like, "Oh, okay, are you an atheist?" I'm like, "No." I'm like, because I'm quoting the Bible. It's funny. So do it in your own way. Don't do it how I'm doing. Do whatever you can, and do it in your own way. If you want this stuff out there, and just start reading more sources. Start reading more. Start getting more familiar with the sources that actually exist. Fuck yeah. Hard to get away from Mark 14. Yeah, I know. But it's not just 14. I start with 14, then I go, yeah, what about this one? What about Mark, like later on in 66 when it's talking about the Paidiske and all this? I'm like, okay. And then what about this when it says they're kids? And what about this? And it's like, oh, yeah, okay. Down Under. Yeah. Oh, Down Under. I had hope for Down Under when our third political party, One Nation, was going to look like they were going to take. They probably actually fucking will win. It's crazy. This is like the political. I don't think the Americans understand the political shift in the landscape. The shift in our political landscape in Australia has absolutely fucking turned 180. It's unbelievable. One Nation is going to fucking win, I reckon. But all three parties support Israel. So there's no point in voting for any of them. Because Gina Reinhardt, massive mining magnate billionaire, just said she wants to open up Australian land so Israeli, I don't know if it was Israeli forces or something can use Australian land so they can train Israeli soldiers. What? You can't get away from it. They all got to go. All of them. And I'm not talking about all the Jews. I'm talking about politicians, and the way politics is done today has to end. We've got to start again. We can't keep doing this shit. So what happens when you get billionaires and shit in power? Or people who are in bed with billionaires as well. Vaticanus. Yeah, the Codex Vaticanus, man. You can check my videos on the Codex Vaticanus as well, where I showed. But it makes sense because the theta can also be a tau. So when you got a kata and a katha, because Chthonian divinities, and you got a kata or a katha. So a tau can be a theta, and they changed it in Matthew to Mark, but and in Luke. But you can also have what did it say in I can't remember which one it was. I don't know if it was Mark Sabachthani, which we found out because Angelo Mai, the Vatican's chief library keeper, who was also, I think, a Jesuit, he did he did another version of it so you can actually read it better. He said it was Sabachthani, and you're like, what the fuck is that? Like, I've never seen that before in like any other biblical text, like New Testament. I've never seen that before. So that was interesting. You see Sabachthani when Jesus is on the cross saying, Eloi, Eloi, lama sabachthani. And you're like, huh. So the Gospels conflict with each other, but it's interesting that they conflict with each other with different Greek variations of spelling. Okay? That's very interesting because it's all written in fucking Greek. So to have different variations in Greek spelling between a tau and a theta points to whoever was writing the different Gospels were using different variations of Greek that they knew that they were writing in. Interesting. Yeah, that's also true. Can be dia, za. Oh, yeah. Because you get the Z is the DZ sound. And don't forget, vowels are very important in Greek. You can't just substitute them in and out. Fucking liar. Luke Gordon, the liar. Vowels can change in ancient Greek. I've shown this so many times. Doesn't matter. You can use different dialects. You can use an alpha, an eta. It can also be sometimes a different. It can be epsilon. Alpha, beta, gamma, delta, epsilon, zeta, theta, kappa, lambda, mu, you see, going from p, sorry, sigma, tau, epsilon, b, he, c, omega. And don't forget the digamma. That was the alphabet. Yeah, Josh did a great breakdown of the dialects, so that was cool. George Carlin, man. You know my favorite comedian though? Because he was a straight up motherfucker. Bill Hicks. Bill Hicks, man. If you never heard or seen Bill Hicks, go on YouTube and go watch some Bill Hicks and watch him just fucking go off. The best comedian I've ever, like. Is he still saying I won't? Because I literally just brought up a photo saying the screenshot that said I will. And then we're going to. But then 2.5 hours later, he lied and said I didn't want to go on with him. So I just showed you what's going on. And then he lied and said I don't want to go on. Do you see what we're dealing with here with this guy? Crazy. And I don't say that lightly to say, oh, he's crazy. I'm saying he's either got issues or he's deliberately doing this. This is what he does, man. This is what I'm saying. I'm not trying to get through to him. I'm trying to get through to people who are open to the evidence. Okay? Trying to get through to people who are open to the evidence. And that's all I'm going to do. No, I know. You weren't. Yeah, that's all cool. I was just giving you the rundown. Just giving the rundown of what was going on. And like just explaining it from what I can show the evidence. That's all. Thanks, man. All right. Is there anything, I always just the end, anything you guys want to go over, or any sources you want to pull up, or anything you specifically want to look at before I end? Be interesting to see. Thomas, you want to look at Thomas? Oh, look, it'll take me some time to go through Thomas because that is, I've got the text, but I'd have to go back and watch Armin's stream on Thomas to go through or I'd have to go word by word through the lexicon. But all I know is from the apocryphal texts in like Bartholomew and Thomas and all these other ones, they were in India, and I can't remember which one it was. But when they were in India, they were sleeping with the king's wife when he was away, and then when he came back, she wouldn't have sex with him, and she was a cult Christian. That's what that text said. And there's so many others as well. There's so much other stuff, but that's what I remember briefly from the apocryphal texts that they didn't want to put in the Bible, because it literally, there's also those apocryphal texts talk about the word specifically pharmakon. So they directly use the word pharmakon. And I was reading last night, the guys in the Discord can see, I was reading a dude who was doing a homily, John Chrysimus, I think his name is Chris, something like that. He was doing a homily, and I'm showing, hey, he's bringing up drugs, he's bringing up epithumia, he's bringing up everything that the apostles were talking about. So I'm like, you've got a 4th century priest, I don't know if they call it priest, like early Christian teacher, doing a homily on the different gospels, and he's talking about doing drugs in Matthew. He was referencing drugs in Matthew, and then he was talking about, oh, it's this dude, John Chrysimus. I can actually put, I don't have the bit for you, but I can have his stuff here. I can pull, the fuck? Oh, there we go. This guy was doing a homily in the 4th, 5th AD. Ioannis Chrysostomos. Chrysostomos. And look, he's talking about drugs in the 4th, 5th century. Talking about more drugs. Christu aute pharmakon. What the fucking Christian teacher doing talking about drugs in the 4th, 5th century? If Christianity isn't about drugs. John Damascus. Tzitzis, pharmakokrise. So that's Byzantine. That's a late 12th century. Oh, fucking look at that Hippolytus line. Potera de Christone potonto pharmakon. Which of the two, potera, which of the two drugs, pharmakon, is it? Is it the Christon, or is it the poton? The Christ or the drink? Come on, man. Which drug is it? I'll be there one day. Don't you worry. I'll be there one day. Stream's gold. Thank you. You're gold. Everyone's gold for being here. Thank you. It's awesome to see this many people loving the same shit. Exclusives. Oh, I can tell you a cheat, a hack to get rid of that real quick. It's a bodybuilding technique, and what you do is you just eat chicken breast for, I do it for 4 days, and I lost 4 kilos in 4 days. You just eat chicken breast and a couple of protein shakes if you can, get that in, depending on body weight. You just have 3 or 4 chicken breasts and a protein shake, and you do your exercise as well. I lost 4 kilos in 4 days. I did that twice. It's like a hack for bodybuilders. Yeah, this is what I was, okay, this is what I was looking for. The mix between shamanism and drugs, and I showed that in my video with what I talked about before with Rogan. Graham Hancock was talking about that. And then I was looking for, because I know in South America they use ayahuasca, which has an MAO inhibitor. And I was like, hang on a minute, why aren't they using MAO inhibitors in ancient Greece? Like they've got all this fucking drug technology and knowledge. Why aren't they using MAO inhibitors? And then someone in my comments on one of my latest videos was saying, hey, these two plants are MAO inhibitors and they're using it in this. And I'm like, thank you. This is what I was looking for. I can't remember exactly which ones they were right now, but I got to go back and check my comments. And I'm like, okay, so they were using some MAO inhibitors. And I'm like, that makes sense. That makes sense because they got such smart drug knowledge that why wouldn't they be using it when they could do it down in South America? Yeah, that's what that says in they're using in the best cup that Danny Jones loves to bring up, but doesn't want to reference the sources. Danny Jones, Danny Jones. Oh, see ya. Whoever's on. Bye bye. LA's been speaking. Oh god. Medewanasa. What a name. Mm. Fasted. Fasted cardio. Yeah. Yeah, but see, it's if you want to keep as much muscle as you can, possibly, so you don't like lose all that. That's why you got to keep as much protein as you can. That's why you have that much chicken. Yeah, there we go. Thanks for being here. Talking about the best cup on a stream soon too. Amazing. Let me know. Let me know when it happens. I want to watch that. Syrian Rue, yeah, yeah. I was using Syrian Rue. That's what it was also in the best cup. And I'm like, see, the best cup, it literally says, like, you can watch my Gnostic video. It literally says, what are they doing in Revelation? They're drinking the cup of abominations of her fornication, her sexual fluids from her fucking vagina. So they're using body fluids, and what did they find in the best cup? Oral or vaginal mucus. Like, how one's textual evidence from the fucking New Testament, and one's archaeological evidence from ancient Greek Egypt. Like we have both. We have both. There's no getting around this now. All they have is to say, "Oh, Armin's a bit crazy." I'm like, ridiculous. It wouldn't matter. This is what I'm saying. It wouldn't matter who is saying it and if they were the worst person in the world. The fact that the sources say exactly what they say is everything. Christ is a form of an application of a drug. Right there. Thank you. There we go. Medea's Black Death. I actually did put a little bit of Medea's Black Death in, not my last video, the one before that, when I showed Armin talking about the Black Death, when I talked about the oracles and the priestesses, the Palma Medes, and it was the Black Death, and I showed that it was quickly dying. It was a potion that would cause you to die quickly, and it was a pharmacon dunamis. So it says it would cause you to die quickly. He didn't protect the sources. That's all I need to say. He didn't protect the sources. When ancient Greek and all of us were being slandered as paiderast. Okay? That's the easiest way I can say it. Kurt called us all, everyone who likes ancient Greek is into a boy. That's what he said. So if you're going to claim everyone is that just because we like ancient Greek or read it or are transformed by it, because we can bring it to everyone and show you what it is. So you're going to call everyone that, you can absolutely go and F yourself. And that's what I said in the video. And Danny didn't stand up to the sources. But he referenced the best cup. That's the problem. He references the best cup and the archaeology, but he doesn't reference the source material that brought him to this spot right now where he's sitting in a satanic congregation cathedral in his new studio after Armin brought him all the sources, and he doesn't say a thing about them. That's the problem. When they all exist, we know they exist. I've shown them. Yeah, opium, everything's using H. Yep. Yep. And that is the quote that, what's his name? Brian Murarescu used when he was on Rogan, talking about what they do before they go into the mysteries. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's it. Fucking dishonor the sources, man. $17.27. Are you saying in English though? Because I don't have it in English. I've only got the Greek version. The New Testament, I've only got the Greek version. Otherwise, I'd have to pull it up on the website. Yeah, I'll show you. Because I've got a version from like the 1800s. I can hear army clapping. Okay, so what was I gotta pull up that again? What was the source? 1727. I'm in Matthew already. This I'm just showing you what I do when I'm home here. Honestly, this is what I do. I look at source and I go, okay, what does that word say? How do I do this? 12, 14, 17, 27. Hapage. Oh, I think he's brought this up before. Eleutheroe, Asin, or Hina de me scandalous Solomon autos. This is exactly what I brought up, isn't it? Oh, it's because I'm looking at it like this, not when I brought it up on the other one. Yeah. I put it up on the Perseus Tufts website before. That's right. This is the same thing. Yeah. Hina de me scandalous Solomon. Yeah. Actually, you know what? I actually did a video showing you what these little brackets mean in this text. So when they have these brackets, that means this particular text that they had, this word scandalous Solomon was not in the text that they had it there, but they used it they used it in another text to reference it here. And all these little like bits, they're always different brackets, mean different things. Like either it was a complete bit missing or it was just a partial bit missing. Istalasan. Into the sea. See, I can pick out words. I can, like, Mark is easier to read for me because I've read it so many times. Matthew, oh, there you go. The kingdom of heaven. Into the kingdom of heaven. Uranon. Amenos. Okay, Paidion. You got kids there. Amen legohumin. Amen, I say to you. Hosta paidia. Hume esel teite. Eisten basilean ton uranon. Into the kingdom of heaven. Hostan scandalise. Enaton micron. Oh, this is the bit that says, if you scandalize any of my little ones, I will drown you. Yeah, into the sea. I'll drown you in the sea. This is the one that says I'll put you, hang a millstone and drown you. Yeah. I know this one. And look, I'm just reading that in Greek. I'm just picking out words that I know. I'm not saying I can read exactly every word, every sentence. I'm just saying, okay, basileia ton uron. Okay, into the kingdom of heaven. Can tell that, and I know thalases is also like thalates, which is the sea, the ocean, the sea, but they call it sea. And then you got scandala, which is a scandal. So don't scandalize anyone who comes into scandal. Don't fuck with my little ones. My translation. Don't fuck with them. Into, look, this is it. This is ionion. Into the ions. It's not eternity. Anyone, look, scandalized in my eyes. You are scandalized in scandalize se. Monophthalmon. One eye? Is that one-eyed? Beautiful woman. Yeah, me too. Any sort, I'm looking at the chat. Any Ichthun, look this one up in let's say Ichthun. Alright, I'll look it up now. What's the time? Alright, I'm gonna finish soon. It's nearly 2:30 in the morning soon. So I've got everything I wanted to cover, and now we're just having some fun with the sources. Alright, let's fucking really have some fun. What are we in, Matthew? Alright. Galilee. Okay, yeah, let's have some fun and go to, you know where we're going. Where are we? Matthew still. Mark 10. I'll bring up our favorite passage and then I'll end it, all right? Look, you're a pseudo Christ. You're a pseudo prophet and a pseudo Christ. Mm. All right, Mark 14. Here we go. And the heads into. Look at the page; it's fucked up on this edition. It's not about defending Armin; it's about defending the sources. $14. Now I know in the 30s that's where he goes into the garden and he falls over, because I've read it many times. See, and then when you've got it here, and they're doing it in this Byzantine-looking type font. That means they've got this from a different source. There we go. Peter, James, and John were with him. Met autu, were with him. He was Actam Beistai ka hedemonein. And he said, Peri lupos estin hepsukemu eostanatu. This is where it says in King James, my soul is exceedingly sorrowful into death. Mu eostanatu. Say from okay, estin. Okay, he's going to death. Oh, look, Micron, my little ones. Abba, Pater, Abba, Father. This is what I read in English on the last video. Pantaduna tasui. Take this cup away from me, Poterion. Tuto ab emu. Take this cup away from me. What is he talking about? What kind of cup is that? What kind of cup is that? Not what I want, but what you want. $41, $43, and then there we go. 43. And I read it I said it without even needing to read it, because like I know. Metamakaron, look at that. Judas came. Oklos, the bar, the rod. I only know that because that says that is used. That word oklos is used in Lucian's Pseudologista to talk about a man's, you know what, a bar, a rod. Okay, it's a euphemism for a penis. All right, but not in this case. So he came with them. Meta makaron kaiksulon paraton archierion. Now, and then Jesus says, yeah, Rabbi, and he katephalasen. So Judas katephalasen auton. He not aggressive, like he passionately, thoroughly kissed him. Yeah, okay. That's how he identified him. And then what did he say? Hosepi Leistein. As if I am a Leistes, which we've looked at so many times. Exaltate metam macaron kaiksulons pulaben me. And he said, I was teaching in the temple and toihieroi didaskon, and you didn't come and get me. So what are you doing it now for, you fucks? Basically. That's the Australian 21st century translation. The fuck are you coming out here for, you dogs? Why didn't you do it before? And then, what happened? Oh, fuck. See, this is how it sets it up. He was off in the garden doing some other shit with the kid. This is what it sounds like, setting it up. He was off in the garden, falling over, stunned and amazed. And then when Judas came, he went to go see Judas because Judas has come to him and he knows there are people there trying to arrest him. So Judas has gone to him, he's gone to him. The kid's still hanging out over there. And then, once all this happens, he says stuff to him. What's going on? Then the kid comes like he's following him. Like he's attending to him. Like a servant. That's what it says. Sune kalute. He was attending to him. So he's come out of nowhere, but like he was attending to him. Nay Niskas, whatever you want to say that is, like a kid or a 20-year-old, up to that. I don't really care. The point is, this word right here for me, he was a servant or a slave. Wrapped. I did a breakdown on my shorts. I got a short where I broke down every single word of Mark 14, 51, 52. So he was covered with a linen bandage that can also relate to the purple we've seen, porphyrus, upon his nakedness. They laid hold on him. He then, katalipon, which comes from lepo, which means to leave. He left behind the sindon, and then he efugen gumnos. Gumnos efugen. Gumnos is naked, so he efugen gumnos, fled naked or exposed. That's what that says exactly from the lexicon. And then you go further, and then that's where you get the Paidiskes, and there you go, the Paidiskon. Notice Peter. Paidiskon, notice Peter. The Nazarene, who was with the Nazarene called Yesu. And what does Yesu mean? It means a healer and physician, coming from the verb yaomai, to heal and to cure. So Paidiske is a young female slave, especially a prostitute. Okay, so you got young female slaves, prostitutes, who are identifying Peter as being Jesus's boys, one of Jesus's boys. There you go. And don't forget, we found, there's Theosmu. There Enkatalipasmi. That's the 22-bit. From the Septuagint somewhere, I can't remember. I made a video on it. Eloi, Eloi, lama sabachthani. See, this one says sabachthani, but there's another one that says sabachthani, and then sabachthani. So there's all different forms. You can actually take a look at that. Helios. There's Pilate. Mary Magdalene. What does Mary Magdalene mean? What is a Magdal? And what was she called? She was called the Thaumaturge. She was a wonder worker. Mary Magdalene was a wonder worker, according to a bunch of other texts. And then we get right here, 16:5. There was a Neoniskon in the tomb, Peribiblamenon Stolen Laocain, wearing a white robe. And they were Ektham. Okay, this is a different ending on that because it's Ektham Beistai is for Jesus. This is Ekse Tham Bethesan. Ekse Tham Bethesan. Okay, it's Eta. See ya. See you, Chewy. I'm gonna end it soon anyway. Thanks for being here. Go have fun. Have a good day. And everyone have a good day. All right, there you go. Jesus was in the tomb. There was no Jesus in the tomb, and then there was a Neoniskos in the tomb. The same one that the biblical scholars say was with him in 14. So he ran away in Mark 14, and then he went back to Jesus' tomb, or he went to Jesus' tomb to resurrect him. That is what happened according to the text and according to the Bible scholars. All right, there we go. And then we're going to end it with Mark 16:18 because this is what Armin's going to do on stage with, 17 and 18. He's going to do this on stage with Junius at all the concerts. In my name, entoi honomati mu, daimonia ekbalusin, glossos lalesusin. In my name you will cast out demons, and you will lift up snakes and drink thanasimon, death-inducing drugs. Go check Josephus on that. I've shown it. He talks about thanasimon pharmacon meta thanasimon. Drugs with death-inducing properties or abilities. So Jesus is saying you're going to lift up snakes and you're going to drink death-inducing drugs, and they will not ume autos blaps. They will not have any effect on you. They will not hurt you. There we go. We're talking about serpents, and we're talking about drugs, and we're talking about resurrecting by using a Neoniskos. There we go. That is the end of Jesus in Mark. There we go. And we didn't need any translations for that at all. I told you I've read Mark a lot. Of course I would. After seeing what the hell it says, of course. There you go. All right. Holy shit. Thank you, everyone. That was awesome. Oh my god, that fucking profile pic. Oh, dude, what a. Thanks, great start today. Thank you, everyone. I wish I used to just go through every single comment, but honestly, like it's very humbling to have you all here. Thank you so much, and I wish I could go through every single one, but like, wow, there's so many people. Thank you everyone for coming. Thanks for looking at sources that don't exist apparently. And we'll see you. I wonder when. Oh, we'll see you Sunday if the Gnostic thing happens. If he can sit through a whole stream watching my video showing everything he's done. We'll see what happens. Yeah, no wait. All right. Thank you, everyone. I'll see you guys maybe Sunday. Saturday for US, Sunday for AUS. Bye-bye.